Have you ever sat alone, staring at the ceiling, wondering, what's the point of all this? Why am I even here? Why does life feel so empty? You've chased goals, achieved some, failed others, tried to distract yourself with friends, social media, entertainment, but deep inside, there's still that voice asking, what is the purpose of my life? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many people today are living, but not really alive. They smile on the outside, but are broken inside. They keep scrolling, keep running, but never find peace. My brothers and sisters, when life feels pointless, Islam gives us an answer that no material thing can provide. Today, let's remind ourselves of that truth. Have you ever reached that point in life where you stop and ask yourself, why am I even doing all of this? Why am I working so hard, chasing goals, trying to impress people, running after things, and yet I still feel so empty inside? You see, so many people today are alive physically, but inside they feel dead. They laugh with their friends. They post their happy moments on social media. They go to parties. They chase careers. But when the lights are off, when they're lying alone in their bed at night, a quiet voice inside whispers, oh, what's the point? And that silence, that emptiness, that deep question, it scares them. Because no matter how much they try to drown it with distractions, that emptiness keeps returning. The truth is, my brothers and sisters, this emptiness is not new. People before us felt it too. But the difference is that in today's world, we try to fix it with the wrong medicine. We try to fill a spiritual void with material solutions. We think buying more will fix it, but it doesn't. We think traveling will fix it, but it doesn't. We think relationships will fix it, but they don't. We scroll endlessly through our phones, searching for something. Some spark, some meaning, some dopamine hit. But when the scrolling ends, the emptiness is still there. Because the soul is not satisfied with entertainment, with money, with likes, with followers. The soul was created by Allah, and the soul can only find peace when it returns to Allah. Allah tells us directly in the Quran, indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. And yet so many of us look for rest in everything except Allah. We run after the world, but the world was never designed to fill our hearts. It was designed to test them. That's why even when you get what you thought you wanted, that dream car, that perfect job, that relationship, that house, that recognition, deep inside you realize it didn't give you the peace you thought it would. It gave you a temporary high, a moment of joy, but soon the feeling faded and the emptiness returned. Why? Because true peace doesn't come from possessions or people. True peace comes from purpose. And what is your purpose? Allah tells us clearly, I did not create jinn and humans except to worship me. That's not just about praying 5 times a day. Worship is your entire life. Your struggles, your patience, your kindness, your honesty, your hard work, your moments of gratitude, all of it can be worship if it's done for Allah. That means your life already has meaning. But when you forget that meaning, when you disconnect from the one who gave you breath, that's when life feels pointless. And this is where so many people in our generation are stuck. They are drowning in distractions. They are busy all the time, but deep inside they feel lost. They keep chasing happiness, but it keeps slipping away. They keep searching for peace, but only find more noise. And they ask themselves, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy? The answer is simple. You will never find lasting happiness in something temporary. And everything in this world is temporary. But Allah is eternal, His words are eternal, and the life of the hereafter is eternal. That's why Islam constantly redirects your attention away from chasing dunya blindly and towards remembering your final destination. When life feels pointless, it's usually because we have forgotten our destination. Imagine going on a long journey without knowing where you're going. Of course, you would feel tired, frustrated, hopeless. But when you know the destination, even if the road is hard, every step has meaning. That's what Islam does for you. It reminds you that this life is not your final stop. This life is the exam hall, and death is the moment you hand in your paper. After that comes the eternal results, either Jannah or Jahannam. That's why the Prophet told us, be in this world as if you are a traveler. Don't get too attached. Don't expect perfection. Don't lose yourself in chasing shadows. Because the real home, the real peace, the real reward is waiting for you with Allah. So if you're listening right now and you feel like life has lost its meaning, let me tell you this: your life is not meaningless. You are not a mistake. You are not just another random person on earth. You were created with intention. Every breath you take is by Allah's permission. Every moment you live is part of your test. And the very fact that you feel this emptiness is not a curse, it's a reminder. It's Allah pulling you back, calling you closer, making you realize that nothing will satisfy you except Him. The emptiness is not there to destroy you. It's there to guide you back to your Creator. That is why when life feels pointless, Islam gives you 8 powerful truths that can change everything. Truths that remind you why you are here, what you are doing, and where you are going. Truths that shift your perspective so that even in the darkest moments, you can find hope, peace, and meaning. And if you hold on to these truths, you will never look at life the same way again. One of the main reasons life feels so heavy, so confusing, so pointless to many people today is because they have forgotten, or maybe never even discovered, the real reason they exist. We live in a world that constantly tells you your worth depends on your job, your grades, your bank balance, your looks, or the number of followers you have online. And when you don't meet those standards, you begin to feel like your life has no meaning. But Allah, the one who created you, already told you why you are here. He already gave you your purpose in the Quran when He said, "And I did not create jinn and mankind except to worship me." That is your purpose. Not fame, not wealth, not endless pleasure, but to worship Allah, to live a life that connects back to Him. Now, worship in Islam doesn't mean just praying 5 times a day, fasting in Ramadan, and doing rituals. Worship is much deeper than that. Worship means your entire life can become meaningful if it's lived with the right intention. Your studying can be worship if you do it to benefit the Ummah. Your job can be worship if you earn halal money and spend it in good. Smiling at your parents, helping a stranger, resisting a sin, even holding back your anger. All of this is worship if you do it for Allah. That means your purpose is not limited to a mosque. It's not limited to a prayer mat. It is your entire existence. And this is so powerful because it means no moment of your life is wasted. Even your struggles, your sleepless nights, your patience with trials, every second can be filled with meaning if you connect it to Allah. Compare this with a life without purpose. You wake up, you go to school, you work, you eat, you laugh, you cry, and then one day you die. And that's it. If that's all there is, no wonder people feel hopeless. But Islam says no. Your life is part of a much bigger story. You were chosen by Allah to exist at this very moment in history, in this place with these people, because you have a role to play in His plan. You are not an accident. You are not here by chance. You are here because the King of the heavens and the earth wanted you here. And that means you matter. The angels wrote down your name before you were even born. Allah planned your risk, your path, your journey. When you realize that your Creator didn't make you randomly, but with love, with care, with intention, you stop asking, what's the point of my life? And you start asking, how can I live my purpose today? That's when everything changes. Suddenly, your salah is not a burden, it's a lifeline. Your struggles are not punishments, they are opportunities. Your dreams are not just for this world, they are tied to the hereafter. And you begin to live with direction, with clarity, with peace. So remember this, your life already has meaning. You don't need the world to validate you. You don't need people to define you. You don't need to chase endless distractions to feel alive. Allah already gave you your purpose. And the more you live aligned with it, the more your life will feel meaningful, no matter how tough the journey gets. One of the biggest reasons people fall into despair and feel like life is pointless is because they expect life to always be smooth, enjoyable, and comfortable. From childhood, we are told that happiness is about having fun, chasing dreams, and living without limits. So when reality strikes, when hardship comes, when disappointment hits, when pain doesn't go away, people begin to feel lost and hopeless. They start asking, Why me? Why is life so hard? Why can't things ever go right? But the truth is, life was never meant to be a vacation. Life is not Jannah. Life is not a place of perfection. Allah told us from the very beginning that this world is a test. He says in the Quran, or do the people think that they will be left to say, we believe, and they will not be tested? Every single person will face trials, no matter how rich, powerful, or pious they are. And these tests come in many forms: fear, hunger, loss, heartbreak, sickness, loneliness, failure, or even success itself. Some tests break you, some tests humble you, some tests wake you up, and some tests elevate you. And here's the secret. Once you accept that life is a test, suddenly everything starts to make sense. You stop expecting perfection from the dunya, because you realize perfection was never promised here. You stop comparing your life to others, because you realize everyone's exam paper is different. Some are tested with wealth, others with poverty. Some are tested with health, others with illness. Some are tested with love, others with loneliness. And every test is tailor-made for each soul, perfectly measured by Allah, the one who knows what you can handle and what will break you. That means when pain enters your life, it is not random, it is not pointless, it is part of your exam. And every exam has an ending. Just like in school, you are not tested forever. There is a time limit. In the same way, your trials have a time limit. Nothing in this world lasts forever, not even your sadness, not even your suffering. And just like in school, the harder the exam, the greater the reward when you pass. Allah tells us, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Not after hardship, with it. Meaning that within the difficulty itself, there is wisdom, there is growth, there is hidden goodness. When you start seeing life as a test, your mindset changes. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what is Allah teaching me through this? How can I pass this test with patience and faith? And the most beautiful thing is this: Allah is not a harsh examiner, waiting for you to fail. Allah is the most merciful, giving you chance after chance, guiding you, forgiving your mistakes, and rewarding you beyond what you can imagine for every moment you endured. In fact, the Prophet said that even the prick of a thorn does not go unnoticed by Allah. He forgives your sins and raises your ranks through it. So when life gets difficult, don't let your heart whisper that it's meaningless. Remind yourself, this is my test paper, this is my chance to prove my faith, this is my opportunity to grow closer to Allah. Because on the day of judgment, none of your pain will be wasted. Every tear will be counted. Every sleepless night will be recorded. Every sacrifice will be multiplied, and that is why life, with all its chaos and struggles, still has meaning. Because every moment is either bringing you closer to Jannah or taking you away from it. Once you internalize this truth, even your darkest days carry light. Because you know they are not the end of your story, they are just a chapter in your test. One of the most dangerous lies that the heart whispers in moments of hardship is, what's the point of all this suffering? Nobody sees my pain. Nobody understands what I'm going through. My tears are wasted. My struggles don't matter. And when that thought takes over, life begins to feel meaningless. But in Islam, nothing could be further from the truth. The reality is that not a single ounce of pain in your life is wasted. Every hardship, every heartbreak, every tear that falls, every moment you feel broken and alone is witnessed by the one who created you. Allah says in the Quran, indeed, Allah is with the patient. Think about that. The Lord of the heavens and the earth is with you in your pain, closer to you than anyone else could ever be. Even if the world ignores your suffering, even if nobody notices the silent battles you fight every day, Allah notices. Even the things you don't tell anyone about, the sleepless nights, the heavy thoughts, the silent tears on your pillow, they are not invisible to Him, and in His mercy He does not let them pass without reward. The Prophet taught us that no pain, no illness, no exhaustion, not even the prick of a thorn afflicts a believer except that Allah wipes away some of their sins and raises their rank through it. That means your pain is doing something powerful, even if you can't see it. It is cleansing you, purifying you, polishing your soul so you can stand before Allah lighter, purer, and more prepared for the eternal life to come. And sometimes that pain you feel is not just for you. It is shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more compassionate, so you can guide others who will one day need your strength. Have you ever noticed how the people with the deepest empathy, the ones who heal others, are usually those who have been broken themselves? That's because pain teaches what comfort cannot. Pain grows the heart in ways that ease never will. And Allah, in His perfect wisdom, allows that pain not to destroy you but to transform you. So when you feel like your suffering is meaningless, remind yourself that it is not wasted. It is being written, it is being counted, and one day it will be rewarded in ways you cannot imagine. On the day of judgment, when you stand before Allah and see mountains of reward for moments you thought were worthless tears, you will realize that not a second of your pain went unnoticed. Even the sighs, the whispers, the du'as you made with trembling lips in the darkest nights, they were all recorded, and they are all on their way back to you as blessings. And beyond the rewards, pain itself is a reminder that this world was never meant to be paradise. If everything was perfect here, we would forget our real home. Pain reminds us to turn back to Allah, to yearn for Jannah, to stop chasing perfection in a temporary world and instead chase eternal peace. That's why the people who suffer the most often end up closest to Allah, because their wounds push them to the only one who can heal them. So the next time you feel broken, don't say, "This is pointless." Say instead, "This is my investment with Allah. This is my chance to be forgiven. This is my chance to rise." Because one day you will look back and see that your pain was never a waste. It was the very thing that brought you closer to your Creator. Loneliness is one of the heaviest feelings a human being can carry. You can be surrounded by people. You can have hundreds of friends online. You can even live in a house full of family, yet still feel like no one truly understands you. No one sees your pain. No one really knows what is going on inside your heart. And in those moments, life begins to feel unbearable, as if you are walking through this world completely invisible. But Islam reminds us of something powerful. You are never truly alone. Allah says in the Quran, "And we have already created man, and we know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein." Think about that. Closer than your jugular vein, closer than your own breath. That means every thought that passes through your mind, every worry that weighs on your heart, every tear that escapes your eye, Allah knows it instantly before even you can put it into words. And unlike people, you don't have to explain yourself to Him. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to hide. You don't have to put on a mask. You can pour your heart out exactly as it is, and He hears you, He understands you, He responds to you. Allah Himself says, "When my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the call of the caller when he calls upon me." That means every dua you make is heard. Every whisper in the middle of the night is answered. Even the duas you forgot you made years ago, He still remembers them. Even the ones you never said out loud, the ones that lived only in your heart, He already knew them. That is the level of closeness you have with your Creator. And if Allah is with you, what does loneliness really mean? If the King of the universe is by your side, does it matter if people walk away? In fact, sometimes Allah allows people to distance themselves from you, not to punish you, but to teach you that He is enough. Sometimes loneliness is His way of pulling you closer, of making you realize that the love, the attention, the comfort you were chasing in creation can only be found fully in the Creator. Think about the moments when you felt abandoned by the world, yet somehow you still made it through. Who carried you then? Who gave you strength when you thought you had none left? Who put peace into your heart in the middle of chaos? It was Allah, always Allah, and it will always be Allah. Even the Prophet, the best of creation, was reminded in the Quran, "Do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us." If Allah's nearness was enough for Him in His darkest moment, then it is surely enough for you. So the next time you feel like nobody sees you, remind yourself, Allah sees you. The next time you feel like nobody hears you, remind yourself, Allah hears you. The next time you feel like nobody cares, remind yourself, Allah cares in ways no one else ever could. And when you start living with that awareness, loneliness loses its power. You realize that even in an empty room, you are in the company of the most merciful. Even in silence, you are being heard by the all-hearing. Even in weakness, you are supported by the all-powerful. That is why the believer is never truly alone, because wherever you are, whatever you are facing, Allah is always with you. One of the reasons many people feel that life is pointless is because they believe they are not doing anything big enough to matter. They look at the world and see others achieving massive success, building huge careers, influencing millions or making a visible difference, and then they look at themselves and think, "Oh, what am I really doing? I'm just an ordinary person. I'm not changing the world. My life doesn't matter." But Islam teaches something completely different. In the sight of Allah, it is not about how big your actions look to the world. It is about the sincerity behind them. A deed that seems small in your eyes could be enormous in his scale if it is done purely for him. The Prophet taught us that even a smile is charity. Even removing something harmful from the path is a good deed. Even giving half a date in charity could save you from the fire. Think about that. Half a date, something so small, something most people wouldn't even notice, could be the very act that earns you Allah's mercy. That means no act is insignificant. No kindness is wasted. No moment of sincerity is overlooked. The angels are writing everything, the words you say, the intentions you carry, the hidden struggles you endure, the patience you hold in silence. And on the day of judgment, when the scales are brought out, you may be shocked to see that the smallest things you thought were meaningless became the heaviest on your record. Imagine standing before Allah and finding mountains of reward for the quiet du'as you whispered, the secret charity you gave, the moments you held your tongue when you could have responded with anger, the times you forgave someone when you could have taken revenge. These are not small in His sight. In fact, sometimes the small acts are more beloved to Him than the grand ones, because they come from pure hearts, not from the desire to impress people. And this is where life gains meaning. You don't need to wait for some extraordinary opportunity to start living with purpose. You don't need a stage, a platform, or recognition. Purpose is built in the daily choices you make, the prayers you never miss, the Quran you open even if only for 5 minutes, the kindness you show to your parents, the patience you show when life doesn't go your way. All of these things matter. And the beauty of it is that Allah multiplies even the smallest effort. He says, whoever comes with a good deed will have 10 times the like thereof. Imagine, one small act of good multiplies into 10, and even more if Allah wills. That means your ordinary days are full of extraordinary opportunities. You may think your life is too simple, too boring, too insignificant, but in reality, every single day is a canvas, and every small action is a brushstroke painting your path to Jannah. And when you look at life this way, it never feels pointless again, because you realize that meaning is not hidden in huge achievements, but in the small, sincere acts that Allah loves. So never underestimate yourself. Never believe the lie that you don't matter. You matter more than you know, and the little things you do every day may be the very things that carry you into paradise. One of the main reasons so many people today feel that life is pointless is because they are constantly comparing themselves to others. You wake up, open your phone, and instantly you're flooded with images of people who seem happier, richer, more successful, more loved, more fulfilled than you. Someone is traveling the world while you're stuck in the same place. Someone is buying a new car while you're struggling to pay bills. Someone is announcing their engagement while you're still waiting for your du'as to be answered. And before you know it, you start to believe the lie that your life is meaningless, that you are falling behind, that you're somehow less valuable because you don't have what others have. But comparison is a poison that robs you of peace, steals your gratitude, and blinds you from the blessings Allah has already given you. The Prophet warned us about this mindset. He said, look at those below you, and do not look at those above you, for it is more suitable that you do not belittle the favors of Allah upon you. That is powerful advice, because the more you focus on people who seem to have more, the less you will appreciate the countless gifts in your own life. But when you look at those who have less, you suddenly realize how much Allah has already given you. The ability to see, to breathe, to walk, to eat, to pray. These are blessings that millions would trade everything to have. And yet, when you're trapped in comparison, you overlook them. The truth is, every single person is tested in a different way. The person whose life looks perfect online may be crying themselves to sleep every night. The one who has wealth may be empty inside. The one who has beauty may be drowning in insecurity. Allah, in His perfect wisdom, gave everyone their portion. Some ease, some hardship, some blessings, some trials, and it is designed specifically for them. So the question is not, why don't I have what they have? The real question is, am I being grateful for what I have been given? Because gratitude is the key to peace. The moment you stop obsessing over someone else's path and start focusing on your own, life begins to feel lighter, more meaningful. You realize that success is not a race where you have to beat everyone else. It is a personal journey between you and Allah. You are not in competition with them. You are in competition with yourself, with who you were yesterday, with how close you are getting to Allah, with how much effort you are putting into pleasing Him. That's why comparison kills purpose, because it shifts your eyes from Allah to people, from the eternal to the temporary, from the real to the superficial. And the saddest part is that the world you're comparing yourself to isn't even real. Social media is a highlight reel, not reality. People show their best moments, their filtered smiles, their polished successes, but behind the screen, everyone is fighting a battle you can't see. So why waste your peace measuring your life against an illusion? Instead, turn back to your own path, your own blessings, your own connection with Allah. When you start living with that mindset, you begin to appreciate the little things: the roof over your head, the food on your table, the prayer you just prayed, the dua you just made. And slowly, the weight of comparison lifts and peace enters your heart again. Remember this: Allah did not create you to be like anyone else. He created you with your own purpose, your own story, your own journey. So stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop believing your worth is tied to what people post online. Your worth is tied to Allah, and in His eyes, you are priceless. When life feels pointless, it's often because of the weight of your struggles. You go through hardship after hardship, pain after pain, loss after loss, and you start to wonder, what's the point of all this suffering? Why me? Why do I keep facing difficulties while others seem to have it easy? But the truth is, in Islam, your struggles are not meaningless. Your pain is not wasted, and your tears are not ignored. Allah reminds us in the Quran, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Notice He didn't say, after hardship comes ease. He said with it. That means every struggle you go through already carries ease hidden inside it. You may not see it right now, but Allah is planting seeds of strength, patience, and resilience inside you through every difficulty. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every broken heart, every moment you felt alone. All of it is building you in ways you cannot imagine. The Prophet told us that even the prick of a thorn that hurts a believer does not go unnoticed. Allah erases sins through it. So imagine the weight of your biggest struggles. Your pain is cleansing you, purifying you, raising your rank, and preparing you for a greater purpose. And when you look back, you'll realize that some of the hardest moments of your life were the very moments that shaped you into who you are today. Think about it. If everything was easy, if life was always smooth, you would never grow. You would never learn. You would never build the strength to face this world. Struggles are like fire. They burn, but they also refine. Just like gold must go through intense heat to shine, you too must go through trials to bring out the best version of yourself. Allah loves you too much to leave you weak, so He allows you to face challenges that will strengthen your faith and draw you closer to Him. And here's the beautiful part. The more you struggle for His sake, the more He raises you. The Prophet said that the people tested the most are the prophets, then those closest to them in righteousness, then those after them. Why? Because Allah builds His strongest servants through their struggles. That means your difficulties are not signs of Allah's anger. They are signs that He sees potential in you, that He wants to elevate you, that He is preparing you for something greater. So the next time you feel broken, remember that broken soil grows the strongest plants. Broken clouds give the most rain, and broken hearts often make the most sincere du'as. Your struggles are not destroying you. They are building you. They are carving out space in your heart for deeper faith, for greater gratitude, for a stronger connection to Allah. So instead of saying, "Why me?" start saying, "Ya Allah, help me grow through this. Ya Allah, make this hardship a means of bringing me closer to you." Because when you view your struggles as a building process, life no longer feels pointless. Every difficulty becomes a step on the ladder of growth. Every pain becomes proof that Allah is near. And every tear becomes an investment in your future strength and your eternal reward. There are moments in life when you cry silently in the dark, when no one around you knows the weight you're carrying, when your pillow becomes soaked with tears that you wipe away quickly so no one sees. And in those moments you might wonder, does anyone even notice? Does anyone even care? Do my tears even matter? But in Islam, every single tear you shed for the sake of Allah, every sigh of pain, every whisper of dua is seen, heard, and counted by the one who created you. Allah is not like people who forget, who overlook, who dismiss your pain. Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, Allah does not let the reward of the doers of good be lost." That means not a single moment of your struggle is wasted. Not the tear you cried in sujud, not the tear that fell when your heart broke, not the tear that slipped when you asked Allah for strength. Every tear is recorded, every pain is preserved, every hardship is transformed into reward, forgiveness, and closeness to Him. The Prophet told us that two eyes will never be touched by the fire of hell: the eye that cried out of fear of Allah and the eye that stayed awake guarding in His path. So imagine this, even a single tear that falls from your eye purely for Allah has the power to save you on the day of judgment. That's how valuable your pain is in His sight. The world may never know the nights you cried, the depression you fought, the emptiness you carried, the battles you hid behind your smile. But Allah knew. He was there when your heart was heavy. He was there when your voice broke in dua. He was there when you couldn't explain to anyone what you were feeling, but you whispered it to Him. He never left. And He promises you that one day all those tears will be turned into light, into ease, into reward beyond imagination. On the day of judgment, when people are standing terrified, wishing they had done more, you will see your tears transformed into mountains of reward. You will see that every tear was worth it, every struggle was counted, every silent cry brought you closer to eternal peace. So never think your pain is pointless. Never think your tears are wasted. Allah is Al-Latif, the most subtle. He knows the smallest details of your life. He is Ash-Shakur, the most appreciative. He values even the tiniest effort you make. And He is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. He will never let your suffering go unrewarded. So the next time you cry, don't hide it in shame. Don't think it makes you weak. Know that it connects you to Allah in the most intimate way. Those tears are your proof that your heart is alive, that your soul is reaching out to the one who loves you more than anyone else. And one day when Allah replaces those tears with endless joy in Jannah, when He welcomes you into eternal happiness where no pain exists, you will look back at every hardship, every broken moment, every tear you cried, and you will say, it was all worth it. So when life feels pointless, when the weight of the world sits heavy on your chest, when your heart whispers that you can't go on anymore, remember, Islam has already given you the answers. Your purpose is not random. You were created for a reason, chosen by Allah to live this exact moment in time. Your struggles are not punishments. They are stepping stones, building you into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to your Creator. Your emptiness is not a sign of weakness. It is an invitation to fill your soul with remembrance of Allah. And your tears are not wasted. Every single one is seen, counted, and turned into reward. Life will always have its storms, but storms don't last forever. And even in the storm, Allah is guiding you. shaping you, loving you in ways you cannot yet see. So don't give up, don't lose hope, and don't believe the lie that your life is meaningless. The fact that you are alive right now means Allah still has a plan for you, still has blessings waiting for you, still has doors to open for you. Hold on to Him, trust His timing, and walk through your struggles with faith in your heart. Because one day you'll look back and realize that every moment you thought was pointless was actually preparing you for something greater. And when you finally meet Allah, you'll understand nothing in your life was ever wasted.